Hello, and welcome back to Faces of Truth, where we attempt to help Americans think for themselves again. My name's Alexander McCauley. I'll be your host for the next few minutes. Our topic this episode is journalism, information, and the extremes of sharing that information. At one extreme, let's start on the right, there is zero government intervention with a private industry. Journalism. Now, you ask yourself, if there's zero government intervention, how am I going to get justice if someone slanders me or tells a lie? Well, it's called the free market. If someone tells a lie, you know it, and you know that it hurts somebody, you don't buy the paper, you don't read it. You don't read the information. The paper goes out of business. Boom. You just regulated. Your paper just self-regulated itself. So, there are some things that must be regulated by government, such as, for instance, if you choose to go and murder someone, steal from someone, or take someone into slavery. The government can step in and say, no, you can't do that. Let's see. Yeah, it's the right to life, liberty, and property. Okay, so we covered those. You kill someone, you take someone as a slave or use them improperly in business, turning them into a slave, or you steal something from them. The government can discipline you for those types of actions. But if you hurt someone's name in an information setting, the government is supposed to leave that alone and let the free market iron things out. Unfortunately, a lot of inconvenience comes around when you do it this way, but it's a more effective way of doing things. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the other end of the information spectrum. Total government control. Now, we find this type of system in governments like the USSR, the Nazi Germany, and Communist China. Sorry, I had to bring in an example that was sort of contemporary. I can end up shut down or this episode deleted for stating the obvious, or that piece of truth. Basically, what we see in the press of these particular governments was a lot of misinformation and spin. A lot of propaganda and government spinning the stories to what they wanted them to be. They wanted the people to understand. They wanted the people to accept as truth. Now, there are 4 divisions of journalism. You've got journalism itself, which is basically an objective stating of facts about events that happened and the individuals that played key roles in the events. No emotional content at all. Basically, when you go for journalism, that is where you start research. You state sources for getting further information. You state what happened during the event. You state people's names, etc. But you don't spin it emotionally at all. It's only to get the information to the person. Okay, so the next division is called commentary. Now, commentary is basically where someone has taken the information that the writers for the news put down, or the anchors for the news communicated over the airwaves. And then they did deeper research on it, and then tell you how they think about the events and what happened based on the further research that the commentator has done. Alright, so now we're going on to the other side of the spectrum with spin. Now, there can be spin that is totally done by individuals, but most spin is facilitated by governments. They want to look like the good guys. Okay, so spin is when somebody tells a story to emotionally embroil the audience into, well, basically to emotionally manipulate the audience into believing the same way that the anchor or the writer of the story wants you to believe. Or the department that gave them the script that they're reading off of wants you to believe. The most recent example in our own press are the 2 shootings that just happened, just after a Democrat president steals the presidency, and just after 2 Democrats steal Georgia in the Senate. They were portraying both of these events as